Good evening, dear friends. Today, before our great holiday, the V-Day, I would like to talk to you about the major World War II battles. Of course, you know the battles which were fought on the territory of the Soviet Union and Europe. But you know that the Second World War was fought on the territories of other countries. It was fought in Europe, it was fought in Asia, it was fought in Japan, it was fought in the Pacific. And of course, you know, our people, the Soviet people, played the major role in the victory over the fascist Germany, yes? But there were some battles during the World War II which actually changed the course of this war and which actually led to the defeat of the fascist Germany. So let us talk about the major World War II battles. And some of them are not known to you and some of them are known to you, but let's start talking about them. So the first battle I would like to talk about is the Battle of Britain. Yes, Battle of Britain. You know that the war was fought on the territory of Britain, on the territory of the UK, but it was fought only in the air. So that's a peculiar feature of this Battle of Britain. So the Battle of Britain, in German it will be the Luftschlacht England, or the air battle for England. It was a military campaign of the Second World War in which the Royal Air Force defended the United Kingdom against large-scale attacks by Nazi Germany's air force, the Luftwaffe. It has been described as the most major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. It took place from the 10th of July till the 31st of October 1940. You know that the Second World War actually started on the 1st of September 1939, yes? And so again, an interesting fact about Battle of Britain is that it was fought entirely in the air, yes? And actually maybe it didn't take such a long time, only from July till October, but still it was a fierce battle, and the Luftwaffe constantly attacked Britain, yes, and such big cities as London, Glasgow, Birmingham, yes, and other cities were under attack. So the city of Coventry was completely destroyed by the German air forces. So remember about this Battle of Britain, one of the major battles during the Second World War. The next attack, I think you know it very well. It is attack on Pearl Harbor. It was in Hawaii territory in the US, and the attack on Pearl Harbor was a surprise, preemptive military strike by the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service upon the United States. The United States was a neutral country at the time, yes? And maybe the United States didn't want to take such an active part in the Second World War, but this attack of the Japanese Imperial Navy Air Force against the naval base at Pearl Harbor in Honolulu, territory of Hawaii, just before 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, December the 7th, 1941, it actually led to the US participation, yes, direct participation in the Second World War. So it actually resulted in the United States formal entry into World War II the next day. So it was a preemptive military strike, but it led to the United States entry into World War II. So there is a famous film which is called Pearl Harbor, and I think it was shot in 2001. So it describes very well the events of that morning and how the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. So there are many impressive shots, yes. So if you're interested, you can have a look, you can watch this film. So you can see this real picture of the attack, one of the military ships of the United States, which sunk, yes, after the attack. Another well-known campaign during the Second World War is the North African campaign, yes, which took place in Libya, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. I will repeat again that the Second World War was actually fought on many territories, on the territories of many countries. It was fought in Europe, as I've said, in North Africa, in Asia, yes, on the territory of Japan, in the Pacific, and so on and so forth. So it was a very bloody event that actually, you know, that it embraced many countries and many peoples and was a very tragic event. So the North African campaign of the Second World War took place in North Africa from the 10th of June 1940 to the 13th of May 1943. So it was a long campaign, yes, a long campaign which took almost 3 years. It included campaigns fought in the Libyan and Egyptian deserts, Western Desert Campaign, also known as the Desert War, and in Morocco and Algeria, so it is known as Operation Torch, as well as Tunisia, and it is known as Tunisia Campaign. 55,000 soldiers died in this campaign, and it's interesting to know which countries participated in this campaign, yes? The United Kingdom, India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, US, France, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Poland, Greece, Czechoslovakia. So, of course, I will repeat that you know of the role that our people played in this war, yes, but you see, many countries were involved, and also the countries that belonged to the UK, so these were the British colonies. The troops from those countries took an active part in the Second World War. So you see that the troops from India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada also participated in this war. It is known as the North African Campaign, and the word campaign presupposes that there were many battles, yes, many battles fought during this campaign. So if you're interested, you can find more information on internet. Another famous battle in the Second World War was the Second Battle of Alamein, which took place in Alamein, Egypt. This is a very well-known event, a very well-known battle, and it is sometimes compared to the Stalingrad battle. Yes, of course, Stalingrad battle was a large-scale battle, and it was more tragic and more people died. But still, the Second Battle of Alamein is also a very well-known event during the Second World War. The Second Battle of Alamein, which took place from the 23rd of October till the 11th of November 1942, was a battle of the Second World War that took place near the Egyptian railway halt of Alamein. The First Battle of Alamein and the Battle of Elam el Halfa had prevented the Axis. It was actually Germany, Italy, and Japan. So it had prevented the Axis from advancing further into Egypt. During this battle, 59,000 soldiers died, so also a lot of soldiers. And the countries which participated in the battle were United Kingdom, India, Palestine, Ceylon, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Free France, the forces of Free France, Greece, and the air support was provided by the United States. So again, please remember, this is a very famous battle in which more than 59,000 soldiers died. The next battle I would like to talk about is the Tunisian campaign, yes, and it is also known as the Battle of Tunisia, and it took place from the 17th of November 1942 till the 13th of May 1943. It was a series of battles that took place in Tunisia during the North African campaign of the Second World War between Axis, remember Axis, which is OS, and it included Germany and Italy and Japan, and Allied forces. The Allies consisted of British Imperial forces, including a Greek contingent, with American and French corps. So the battle opened with initial success by the German and Italian forces. These were the Axis forces. But the massive supply interdiction efforts led to the decisive defeat of the Axis. So the Axis countries, the Axis forces were defeated. Over 250,000 German and Italian troops were taken as prisoners of war, including most of the Afrika Korps in German. Over 76,000 soldiers died in the campaign. So if you're interested, you can learn more information about this campaign, and it was a part of the North African campaign of the Second World War. So you can see the picture, the real picture from this campaign. And the next battle, which is also very well known, is the Battle of Monte Cassino, which took place in Monte Cassino in Italy, practically at the end of the war. And it is also known as the Battle for Rome and the Battle for Cassino. It took place from the 17th of January till May the 19th, 1944. It was a costly series of 4 assaults by the Allies: UK, India, Canada, US, Italy, France, Poland, New Zealand, South Africa, against the Axis forces during the Italian campaign of World War II. So the intention was a breakthrough to Rome. So the interesting fact about this battle is that as you see, the troops, the soldiers from many countries participated in this battle, yes? And why was it principal? It actually opened a way to Rome, yes? It was a breakthrough to Rome. And also, many soldiers died in this battle. The next famous campaign that I would like to talk to you about is the Normandy landings, yes, which took place in Normandy, in northern France. Of course, you know it very well, and of course you've heard about it, Normandy landings. They took place on the 6th of June 1944, and this day is also known as the D-Day. And the interesting fact about this, about these landings, is that it was actually opening of the second front, yes, in Western Europe. You know that Soviet Union had been asking the Allies, yes, US, Britain, France, US and Britain mostly, these were the major allies. So Soviet Union had been asking to open the second front since 1941 or 1942. I'm not a historian, but you can learn some more information about it from your history books, yes? And so it took actually almost 4 years to open the second front in Normandy, but still it happened. Still it happened in 1942. So the Normandy landings were the landing operations on Tuesday, the 6th of June 1944, of the Allied invasion of Normandy in Operation Overlord during World War II. So it was codenamed Operation Neptune and often referred to as D-Day, and it was the largest seaborne operation seaborne operation or seaborne invasion in history, yes? So when the forces, they landed on the shore, on the sea coast, and began their operation against the Nazi forces. Yes, so the operation began the liberation of German-occupied France and later Western Europe, and laid the foundation of the Allied victory on the Western Front. So, as I've told you, it was actually D-Day was actually the day of opening the second front, yes, in Western Europe, so-called Western Front. More than 4,000 soldiers died in these landings, in this operation, but still it's a very famous operation that actually led to the fascist Germany defeat in World War II. So it's interesting to know which countries participated in the operation. It was the US, UK, Canada, France, Australia, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Norway, and New Zealand. So not only US and UK, but many other countries took part in the Second World War and took part in these Normandy landings. You can see the picture. So again, it's the real picture, which features the Normandy landings in France, 1944. Another famous battle of the Second World War is the Battle of Iwo Jima, which took place on one of the Japanese islands. So the Battle of Iwo Jima, which took place from the 19th of February till the 26th of March 1945, so at the end of the war. It was a major battle in which the United States Marine Corps and Navy landed on and eventually captured the island of Iwo Jima from the Imperial Japanese Army. During World War II. These 5-week battles, so the battle took place for 5 weeks. It comprised some of the fiercest and bloodiest fighting of the Pacific War of World War II. More than 6,000 soldiers died in this battle, and you see it took, it was a 5-week operation, and maybe you haven't heard about it before, yes, but of course you heard about the Pacific operations, and this is one of the bloodiest operations which was fought during the World War II. The next campaign, military campaign that I would like to talk to you about is the Siegfried Line campaign, which took place in France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, and Germany. So, so the Allied advance from Paris to the Rhine, also known as the Siegfried Line campaign, was a phase in the Western European campaign of World War II, in which more than 50,000 soldiers were killed. Yes, so the interesting fact about this campaign is that it took place on the territory of so many countries, yes, and again it led to the liberation of Western Europe, yes, and of course large numbers of soldiers were killed during this campaign. So countries which participated in the campaign were United Kingdom, America, France, Canada, Poland, and it took place from the 25th of August 1944 till the 7th of March 1945. So also a long time campaign that brought many deaths. So I think that's all for today, my friends. I would like to congratulate you on the V-Day. It's a great holiday for our country, for our people. Thank you and goodbye. See you next week.